Okay, now there's so many icons in this new SBC. We're going to go over which ones are meta. Is it worth doing? Because 202k, it's no cheap SBC. But also the odds are not what you think. You're not going to be packing the best 87s. You're going to be packing the worst. We're going to go over some of the players who I think is meta and is it worth doing ultimately and at the end. Now, the first one you can get is Hernandez. Now, to be honest, I'd put this Hernandez at a win. With a plus poacher, he's worth about 270k. So if you do get him, you could argue you're profiting. Now, the downside is, of course, this is untradeable. But there's a chance you could pack someone that you have to use as fodder. Remember that. So there is a big chance. But this card, I think, goes in the end. Look, striker, we know how hard it is to get chemistry. If you have different leagues, it's so hard. The benefit is you get +1 to every league. With an icon, so that's the most important thing. So if you got a team, if you got like the Thuram's and a Varane right now, and you can't get everyone on chemistry, an icon is key. Now this card is actually very good. The first touch playstyle very important now, especially we know how bad touches are, especially if you do that flick first touch. But with a hunter, he's actually an exceptional card. The only downside or negative would be that 3-star weak foot. But can I be honest? Maybe one of the better cards out the striking options. He's got the rapid, he's got the Trivela, aerial, first touch, very good base stats, and he's got good agility. I would say this icon is a win. For now, maybe up until the end of December-ish, he would last you very well in striker, especially if you're looking for a striking partner in a 2. Now, Henrik Larsson, I would probably say, look, his card is actually not too bad, okay? He's got 91 finishing, 85 sprint speed, again, with a hunter. You've actually got a pretty decent card here. Look, you can see his stats are not too bad. So I know his price is 150k. So technically you consider this an L because the SBC costs 200k. But to be honest, there's worse. And it's not a bad card. You know, he's got quick step finesse, advanced forward as a striker, 4-star weak foot. If you don't use skill moves, he's actually not a bad option. He's not the most clunkiest of cards because he does have good agility and he's only 5'10". But the balance could be better. Good jumping. To be honest, I would say not bad. Is he a very good card? No. I would say Hernandez is the better option. But I think both of these cards, to be honest, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, Hernandez would be a better card. But Henrik Larsson isn't too bad. I used to use him. He was very cheap before in previous years. So you're looking for a card that can give you links. That'll be an option now. Keane, you know what? He's actually not a bad option as well. Now, to be honest, when I saw his card, remember when they used to have base, mid, and prime icons? When they introduced these base icons, players like Nedved, my favorite cards in the game, they all got nerfed. Now, his sprint speed is disgraceful. His defensive awareness should be higher, like 76. But because of the pinged pass, he's actually not too bad. Now, I would say this is more of an L when you do the SBC because you probably can buy this card for 100k. It's probably leaning towards the L, but to be honest, he's not too bad. You're probably going to find better cards, but because of how bad passing is pre-patch, so if you're watching this before the first patch comes out, he might be good for you, pink passing. But after that, he's probably going to be useless. He's basically a passer. So if you want somebody that can pass the ball, he's a decent card. I'm not going to say he's terrible, but he's like below average, I would say. Maybe you could argue a Churmeni or even a Stanway off chemistry can do a better job than he can. But he most definitely has decent physicality, but that's about it. That's what I'll put it. So I'll definitely say it's leaning more towards an L here. Then we have Veron. Veron is actually not a bad card either. You see a lot of these icons, you know what, when they introduce them, look, they're not meta. Veron is like, he's got the incisive pass, he's got the playmaker plus. Look, I think he's an okay card. He's got decent shot power and long shots. So as a box-to-box, he's an okay player. Can he play holding? No. Defensive awareness is too slow. Is he rigid? Yes. Is he not able to move? No. But if you need a passer of the ball and someone that can just shoot long shots, he's not a bad player. But again, does he fall under the L category? I'd probably say leaning more towards an L. Then we have SCN. This would be one of the best cards you can get. This is one of the best CDMs inside the game. 81 sprint speed, 85 defense awareness, and he has that jockey playstyle and holding plus. If you are struggling defensively, buy this icon. In the right place at the right time, good defensive awareness, good sprint speed, and a jockey playstyle plus. You can open maybe 1,000 of these packs, and maybe one of you, if you're lucky, will get this. So this is not like a one, although it is maybe like, I don't know, 30 icons, 20 icons on 87. It's not 1 in 30 chance we get SCN. It's more like 1 in 1,000. So If you get him, you're very, very lucky. What a card. This would be an absolute phenomenal, probably one of the best wins you get for the 87 rated. I can tell you, for a matter of fact, this guy's one of the best CDMs. Jockey playstyle, like Kunde, anticipate. With the shadow, he's very, very good, and he's got decent passing as well. 87 short pass, 83 long pass, incisive pass, and got the power shot. What a card. In fact, I think his long shots and shot power should be a bit more, but you basically won the lottery with this card. Then we've got Ashley Cole, a win left back, jockey playstyle. Look, he could be a bit taller, 5'9", not the end of the world. With a jockey playstyle with a shadow, I think he very much goes into the win category. You're basically making a card that would very much last you until end of team of the season. No, beginning of team of the season. I'm thinking like maybe May time, March, I would say maybe that's when he starts to slow down. You were going to really start needing the 90 sprint speed. But to be honest, he's got the stats to last you. If you have that ability, he can last you up until team of the season. But his passing could be better. That's the only downside. Maybe even lean towards a catalyst, towards the latter stages of the game. But I think he's a win. Definitely a win card. Then we go to Zambrotta, another win. There's a lot of 87 wins. That's the benefit of this SBC. I don't think it's a rip-off, but there's a chance you're going to get garbage. And that chance of getting garbage is very high. There may be, like, let's say out of 30, there's like 27 good icons, for example. There's a big chance that 70% of you are going to get the other 3 garbage icons. But Zambrotta, what a card. Right back, wing back plus, left back, right back, Italy links. So if you're looking for the Barellas and links like that, you can link those in. Relentless, wish had the better playstyle. But with a shadow as an attacking left back and right back, he's very well. Don't forget 5-star weak foot. Definitely a win. We all know Zambrotta. What a card if you do get him. Gattuso, an L. He's better than Keane at least. The benefit is with Gattuso, because he's holding plus, he needs a shadow, most definitely. When you dump him in CDM with a holding plus, his role as a defensive CDM or win the ball back is not bad. He will win you the ball back. No doubt about that. He'll be in the right place at the right time. He's got very good defensive awareness, but that's all he can do. So if you get him, realistically, you just chuck him in CDM. Unless you have a player like Bonmati and Valverde, and even a Tonali would be better than Gattuso if you're asking me overall. So unless you're using him for that holding position, he's probably leaning towards an L. Campbell, I would say a win. 84 sprint speed, slide tackle plus, defender plus, which is very, very important. Probably the best one for being passive this year. You know how important passive defense is. Look, he can be a bit clunky at times, but he's definitely the aerial power-headed bruiser. He's a win. I think that's just a categorically common sense, I would say, with those, even without a shadow chemistry style. 84 sprint speed, 88 defensive awareness. The stamina, is it important for a centre back? No. When your centre back going to be running forward. Crespo, I would say he's a mid-tier card. He's got Poacher plus, to be fair. I didn't know that. He had a Poacher plus. When I was looking at him, and I was thinking, you know what? He's not a bad card. 4-star, 98 finish and 94 sprint speed, finesse shot and aerial. He's actually not a bad card. I'm not going to say he's an L. I would say he's in mid-tier. I'd say if you do him and you get him, it's not bad. It's not the end of the world. Yes, he's not worth 200k, but to be honest, I think his card is undervalued at 150k. I think he's a 200k card, maybe even 250. He has fallen in price recently. Everyone in imminent news of the SBC as well, but I think he's a good card. Zola, this is the one next to SCN. This is another win card. Finesse shot playstyle plus, shadow striker plus. Now this guy can play striker and Cam 1. Those few cards that can play both those roles. So if you play a 4-2-2, or you play a 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-2-1-2, and you need a card that can play striker and that can play in cam, Zola is the card for you. Shadow striker plus, may I add. Finesse shot. Look, with Son, I used him with Son on my other account. I've had him in cam, Son and Sam Kerr. Honestly, I was finessing like every single game to 14 and 1. Unfortunately, I lost one game. It was probably my fault. Got a bit cocky and actually lost the game, but this guy carried me on my main account, the one that you guys don't see. I have multiple accounts, as you guys probably know. Right now, like ever since last year, my content account that is probably one that you see, I just used it for content. But yeah, he's very, very good. I can vouch for him. I've used him. Very good passer. Stamina is the only downside, but like to be honest, it's not the end of the world. He's a striker. He's not like a left mid or right mid where it's really, really important. 4-star, 4-star. What a card. Very underrated, I would say. A lot of people look past him, but with the plus plus and finesse shot. I mean, I'll be honest. I bought him originally for the finesse shot plus. That was the only reason I bought him. Because he had good curve, good long shots. But trust me, he's a very good card. And also, he's only 5'6". So even though agility balance is not so good, he's going to be liquid on the ball. Now moving over to Vidic, I would say a win. If you do get him, he's going to last you a very long time. 81 sprint speed. Put a shadow on him. Very, very good. Jockey playstyle. Better than Campbell. I wish I had a defender plus at least. He's got a stopper plus plus. I think he's probably goes towards a win category. I know he's only 400k. I think maybe enters the win above average. So you got, let's say, you have L, mid tier, average, then you have like win. I think he leans more towards the win. I think is he like one of the best 87 rated you can get? Possibly not. But I think he's definitely a meta card. There's no doubt about that. But I would say, yeah, he's one of the better cards you can get. So if you get him, look, value-wise, he's very, very good. But you should be more than happy if you get him. When I mean by like top tier, I'm talking about the SCNs, the cars like that are really worth it. Now, Perez would have been garbage if it wasn't for the finesse shot playstyle plus. Now, his curve is not the best. His long shots and finesse shots are not the best. So you can't really put a hunter on him. You're probably going to need to lean towards a Deadeye to get his long shots up and his shot power. The shot power, you can go with a Hawk as well. Like, he's not worth 300k. I think this card is like even less of a value. With the French links, he's got quick step, to be honest. But he lacks the pace, so you need a Hawk ID. Deadeye, look, realistically, can't play. If you could play Cam really well, then yes, okay, fine. But to be honest, look, if you buy him as a Cam behind a striker, I think you can finesse shot. If you're just going to use him for finesse shots, okay, fine. Use a Deadeye. You can maybe even lean towards a marksman. I think there's one of them. I'm just trying to figure out which one it is that improves the, unless I'm mistaken. So it's not. So it's Hawk. So I would say either Hawk. You can go with a Deadeye and a Cam. Look, I don't think he's going to be the most rigid of players. 6'2". He's going to be very clunky. But if you're just going to use him to finesse it, I think he's not a bad option. So when you use him, if you get him and you're a finesse shot guy, then you've got a semi-win, I would say. Otherwise, I would say he's probably not that good. The finesse shot is what saves him. And you can probably play only black. Maybe as, maybe as a left mid or right mid. For now, he's okay. But maybe in a month's time, he'll probably be a bit too slow. But maybe an average card. I think the finesse shot saves him. The finesse shot, I'm trying to just think about it. The finesse shot saves him. I would probably say he's not a win. He's not an L, but he's a card that, okay, he's got a use case. Petit, a win. He's not a left back. He's actually, I wish his base card was still on the game. I used to love using his base card in center mid. But it's a win-ish. I don't think it's worth 500k. But he's got the holding plus plus. So with his shadow, he's actually very, very good. Now he can do everything. He can shoot. He's got very good long shots, good shot power, good short passing, long passing. He's got the main key stats that's important. He's not going to be the smoothest. He's 3-star, 3-star. He is 6'1". He's want to be more of those real top tier center mids, or you can play him as a CDM. Now, as a left back, don't play him as a left back. Worst case, let's say you pack him and you got like, let's say Chouameni, whatever, the new card. Could you play him in left back for now? Maybe until the end of this month. Let's see how the speed boost nerf comes in. But you need someone that's quick at left back and right back. Let's be realistic, up against someone that's quick. So you probably won't make do. His main role is a center mid. I would probably say, you know what? I would say it's a mid-tier win. I'm not going to say it's one of the real best cards. I still think he's a very good card. Don't get me wrong. Holding plus plus. With a shadow, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm just thinking about all the 87 rays. We're coming close to the end now. Okay, you know what? We'll put him, let's say on a scale from 1 to 10. I'll put him at a 7, maybe even a 7.5. As a center mid, he's a good card. I would want his sprint speed to be a bit higher, his defensive awareness to be a bit higher. But you can play that holding one, you can play that box to box, to be honest. Actually, yeah, we'll put him at a 7.5. Maybe we should have rated it. Let's go back and rate all these. I would say maybe a 6. I would say maybe a 6.5. I would say 6. Keen, I'll probably say a 5.5. Essien, I'd say a 9. Cole, I'd say an 8-ish. Zambrotta, I'd say 8 as well. Gattuso, I'd probably say a 5. Campbell, I'd say like a 6, 6.5. Crespo, like a 5.56. Zola, I would say 7.5, maybe even 8. Actually, maybe 8.5 actually. Considering Essien being the benchmark. So Vidic, I would say, for example, 7.5. Perez, 6.5 with the finesse shot use case. Petit, I would say 7.5. I would say. Makaleli comes in at the better centre mids compared to Petit. I like him because look, he's got the 3-star 3, so he's 5'9", a bit shorter, but he's got the block play style, intercept. He's got block and holding plus, better sprint speed, better agility and balance. With the shadow, he's a better player, better defense awareness. I would say this goes towards a win. I would say probably towards an 8, maybe pushing 8.5, maybe even. I'm not going to say 9. I'll say 8.5 is probably where I'll put him at. Dribbling is not that bad because his agility and balance is good. So he's a very, very good card. Block card. Can play holding, and he can play right mid. Probably not going to use him as a right mid. As his job as a CDM, not to go forward with a block playstyle plus, I think I put him in. Right card, I'm going to say, because of his use case to play as a CDM, centre back, and a centre mid. Like if you're like, you know what, Neil, I'm looking for a card that, you know what, I can play a 5 back and I can play, for example, a CDM. So if you want a right card, you can play CDM, and of course you can play centre mid and of course right back. So if you're looking for one of those cards, he goes in. Intercept playstyle plus, could be faster, 78 sprint speed only. I would say with a shadow is what you need. I would say he goes about 8.5 because of his use case of having an intercept playstyle and the power shot, block, anticipate, and the fact he can play a centre half holding and a centre back, CDM, and centre mid role. I think this is definitely a win. Because he's one of those few cards that can play those roles. That's why he has a higher rating, because there's not that many cards of him available, and he can play that centre back position actually pretty well. Then we go over to Suka. Oh, man, I would probably say mid-tier. Oh, is he an L? I don't think he's an L, but I would say mid-tier. Advanced forward. He needs a hunter. Look, he's an okay card. If you need someone that gives you chemistry, put him into your team. It's not the end of the world. I would prefer a Hernandez over this card because his sprint speed, his passing is decent. You know, I'm going to go 5.56. Maybe 5.5. Maybe 6. Maybe 6. I think he's a decent card. I'm not going to say he's not an L either. Sometimes most of these icons are not really that bad. Cliver is another one where this is like, okay, he's got power header first. Suka's better. Maybe Suka's a 6. Maybe he's a 5.5. I would say maybe this is kind of leaning towards an L. 88 finish, 84 sprint speed. There's Evos now that you can get a better. You can get even some cheap cards that got better stats. And it's going to be clunky as well. So unless you're using power headers, so the only use case of what kind of saves him a little bit if you're using the power headers. Otherwise, realistically, he's done. Barnes. Previously, I would say Barnes is a mid-tier card. But this year, because of how bad left-foot dribbling is, and he has a technical sprint, I think he pushes towards a win. I think he gets a 7.5. 4-star, 6 foot. Good passing. Finishing could be better. And shot power, but a hunter. 98 sprint speed. Good stamina. Can play cam or left mid. That's the benefit as well. So he can play the cam role as well. And he's got a technical sprint. So as someone behind the striker in a 4-1-2-on-2, I think he fares very well. He's got a quick step, finesse shot as well, incisive pass and technical sprint. I would say he leans towards a win. I'll give him a 7.5. I think he's worth it. For the coin wise, I think he should be probably. I think 500k is a good price for him. I think he pushes towards a win. I'm not gonna say he's the best 87 rated, but he's definitely a win out of them. Rush, look, if this guy had a 5-star weak foot, it'll be a different situation. He doesn't. Is he an L? Poacher plus first touch with a hunter. He's not too bad. Like, he's not gonna be the most smoothest on the ball, but if your job is to pass the ball to the striker and score, I don't think we can give him a 5.5. Maybe with Poacher plus, maybe a 5.75. Maybe a 6 just because of his stats. look, just as a job as a striker, doesn't set anyone up, can't pass the ball. With the first touch placed under finisher, I think his job to shoot, I give him the job. So 85k, you know what? Buy this card first, use him, and if you use him and you're like, I don't want this garbage, then remember there's a high chance you're probably gonna get Rush. Right. Should be a better rated card in my opinion. I think this kind of pushed, I'll say 6, maybe leans towards a 6.5. 91 finishing, 88 sprint speed with a hunter. Look, he's not going to be the smoothest on the ball, but he's 5'9", so he'll be decent. He's got rapid and quick step. Maybe I push to a 6.5, maybe. Poacher plus. I'm just thinking about it now. You know what? With the rapid and quick step, I think, you know what? Maybe we push it to a 6.5. I think it's a semi-win. I think it's kind of a win, but it's not an L. It's kind of like a mid to win, if that makes sense. I would say maybe a 6.5. I think he's not the end of the world. You're probably going to have a better striker than him anyway. But if you're looking for someone that can links, he gives you it. Xavi Alonso. For the long ball meta, I would say probably... Like his sprint speed and acceleration is dreadful. I'm going to be honest. You know, you could argue someone like Patrick Guijarro is going to be better. But I would say he has to go down to a semi-win. Just because of the long ball. Look, he's not going to be the smoothest on the ball. He's 6 foot, not the best agility and balance. Sprint speed's a bit low. Tracking back is going to be terrible. Not as a CDM, but as attacking center mid. Or he's a box to box. He doesn't really have the box playstyle plus. I mean roll plus, but I think he's like a 6. I think because of the long ball meta, it pushes him to a 7. That's the only reason, because he's got the power shot on the long ball and a very good passing. And he's an icon. Otherwise, I would say 6.5. I know it's going to be harsh, but without the long ball, yeah, 6.5, maybe 7 with the long ball is what I would say is where we would put him in. Fernando Torres would be a win. Finesse shot, poacher plus and finesse shot playstyle plus sums it up. 4-star, 4-star. Not going to be the most smoothest 6'1", but with a hunter, look, he's going to be very, very good. The poacher plus is what you're paying for. Now, if he didn't have the finesse shot playstyle plus, would he be 1.2 mil? Don't know. I don't think so. But with quick step, rapid, and power header, and the finesse shot, and the poacher plus, and those stats, I think is very good. The only downside is his curve and his long shots are not that good. So if you're going to be playing him as a poacher plus, he's fine. You might need to lean towards a hawk if you're going to be using for a finesse shot, just to get his finishing and shot power up. I'd probably say 7.5, maybe leaning towards an 8 actually. Maybe leaning towards an 8. I think the value of the coin value, a million coins, puts a lot of perception on his card that he's a good card. I think he's of course a meta card. I think with a good use case, 7.5, 8. I think with a finesse shot, maybe I would say 8. Yeah, I would say 8. Is he go to 8.5? If his curve was much better, like you could argue Son would be a better finesse shot taker than him, because Son can shoot on either foot with a 5-star weak foot, and he's got a good curve. Of course, he's a win. Maybe an 8, maybe pushing 8.5 with a hawk with the right use case is what I would say. Lampard, man, I'm gonna go say it's a 300k card, but I think it leans towards. I think it leads towards mid tier. I don't think it's an. It's not look. You see, he's too slow to play CDM. Hasn't got defensive awareness. He's got 4-star weak foot. Maybe as a cam, he's okay with the power shot playstyle plus. It's kind of what's saving him, and a box to box. He's going to be an attacking center mid with a hunter. I would say 6.5 as a center mid. I think he's a good box to box. Defense awareness is decent. As an attacking player, as a CDM, nah, he cannot play that role. He cannot play the CDM role. But if we judge him from the attacking front as a center mid with a power shot, tic-tac, and ping pass, I think he's not an L. He's not a mid. Maybe I would say mid. He's not a win. But I think as a use case, as an attacking center mid with a hunter, I think he's very good. And then we go over, and that is basically it. So I think, look, realistically, these are all the cards. Look, I think if you're asking me, if I had to go, I'll say mid win, win, mid, mid win, mid, win, mid, mid, win, win, mid win, mid win, 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 mid win, 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 maybe semi L, but mid, win, mid, semi L, mid, mid. So to be honest, there's a lot of mid cards here. There's a high chance you're going to pack Keane, Larson, Gattuso, or Crespo. So those, I would say, are probably going to be the most common cards you're going to pack. Probably a 1 in 5 chance you're going to pack those cards. But there's also a chance you could get a Madness, and you're probably going to get a Kluivert as well. So there's actually, look, you're probably going to get Wright, Kluivert, Suka, Crespo, Gattuso, Hernandez, Larson, Keane, Veron. That's who you should be expecting. If you're lucky, you're going to get the Campbells, the Vidiches, the Perez's, the Barnes, the Wrights, the Chavis. If you're very lucky, you might get the Zolas, the Coles, and the Makelele's. And if you're extremely lucky, you're going to get maybe the Zolas then, and the Essieans, and the Torreses. But is it worth it? You know what? It's only 200k. You're probably going to have a lot of fodder. Expect garbage, but I would say it's probably not that bad. I would say probably worth doing. But guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.